Good evening, everyone. Today, we have a special guest with us, Dr. Elizabeth Turner, an expert in recycling and waste management schemes. Dr. Turner, thank you for joining us. Dr. Turner, let's start with a broad question. Why is recycling so crucial in today's world?
Recycling is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it significantly reduces the amount of waste that ends up in landfills and incinerators. This is important because landfills are a major source of pollution and greenhouse gases, particularly methane, which is far more potent than carbon dioxide. Incineration, while reducing the volume of waste, releases toxic emissions and ash that require further disposal and treatment. Secondly, recycling helps conserve natural resources. For instance, recycling paper saves trees, water, and energy. Similarly, recycling metals like aluminum and steel conserves the raw ores required for their production, and it takes significantly less energy to recycle these materials than to produce new ones from raw ore. Moreover, recycling reduces energy consumption. Manufacturing products from recycled materials generally requires less energy compared to making them from virgin materials. For example, recycling aluminum saves up to 95% of the energy needed to make new aluminum from bauxite ore. Another critical aspect is the economic benefit. Recycling creates jobs in the collection, processing, and manufacturing industries. In addition, it generates revenue from the sale of recyclable materials and can reduce the costs associated with waste disposal. Lastly, recycling helps reduce our carbon footprint. By reducing the need for raw material extraction and processing, we lower the emissions associated with these activities. This is essential in combating climate change and promoting environmental sustainability.
That's a comprehensive overview. Now, can you explain some common misconceptions about recycling?
Certainly. One common misconception is that all plastics can be recycled in the same way. In reality, plastics are categorized into different types, and not all of them are recyclable in standard curbside programs. For instance, plastic bags, which are often labeled as recyclable, can clog recycling machinery and are usually processed separately through dedicated programs. Another misconception is that washing recyclable containers wastes water. While it's true that water conservation is important, rinsing containers to remove food residue ensures that the recyclables don't contaminate other items in the bin. Contamination can lead to entire batches of recyclables being sent to the landfill. People also often think that recycling alone is enough to solve our waste problems. While it's a critical component, recycling is just one part of a larger waste management hierarchy that includes reducing, reusing, and composting. Reducing consumption and reusing materials are even more effective in minimizing waste.
Interesting points, Dr. Turner. Can you shed light on how advanced recycling technologies are changing the landscape of waste management?
Absolutely. Advances in recycling technology are making it easier and more efficient to recycle a wider range of materials. For example, optical sorting technology uses lasers and sensors to identify and separate different types of plastics. This increases the purity and quality of recycled materials, making them more suitable for manufacturing new products. Another exciting development is chemical recycling, which breaks down plastics into their basic chemical components. This process can handle mixed and contaminated plastics that are difficult to recycle mechanically, turning them back into high-quality raw materials for new plastic products. Moreover, advancements in biodegradable materials and composting technologies are helping to divert organic waste from landfills. This not only reduces methane emissions but also produces valuable compost that can enhance soil health and support sustainable agriculture. On a broader scale, smart waste management systems are integrating IoT, Internet of Things, technologies to optimize waste collection and processing. Sensors in waste bins can monitor fill levels and notify collection services when they need to be emptied, improving efficiency and reducing emissions from collection vehicles. It's fascinating to see how technology is driving improvements in recycling. What about the role of policy and legislation in promoting recycling efforts? Dr. Turner, policy and legislation play a critical role in encouraging recycling. Governments can implement regulations that mandate recycling and set targets for waste reduction. For instance, extended producer responsibility, EPR, laws require manufacturers to take responsibility for the entire lifecycle of their products, including end-of-life disposal. This incentivizes companies to design products that are easier to recycle and reduce packaging waste. Deposit return schemes, where consumers pay a small deposit on beverage containers that is refunded when they return the container for recycling, have proven effective in increasing recycling rates and reducing litter. Public awareness campaigns and education programs funded by government initiatives are also vital. They inform citizens about the importance of recycling and how to do it correctly, addressing common misconceptions and promoting positive behaviors. Incentive programs, such as tax credits for businesses that invest in recycling infrastructure or grants for community recycling projects, can further boost recycling efforts.
Dr. Turner, you've given us a lot to think about. Before we wrap up, what can individuals do to contribute to more effective recycling?
Individuals can make a significant impact by being informed and proactive about their recycling habits. Firstly, it's essential to know what can and cannot be recycled in your local program. Check with your local waste management authority for guidelines. Secondly, reduce contamination by rinsing containers and removing food residue before placing them in the recycling bin. This helps ensure that recyclable materials remain clean and marketable. Additionally, consider reducing and reusing before recycling. For example, use reusable bags, bottles, and containers to minimize single-use plastics. Donate or repurpose items instead of discarding them. Support businesses and products that prioritize sustainability and use recycled materials. Your purchasing decisions can drive demand for recycled goods and encourage companies to adopt more environmentally friendly practices. Finally, spread awareness and encourage others to recycle correctly. Community involvement and peer influence can significantly enhance collective recycling efforts.
Thank you, Dr. Turner, for sharing your expertise with us. It's clear that while recycling is a complex and multifaceted issue, there are many ways we can all contribute to making it more effective.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to discuss such an important topic. I hope our conversation inspires more people to engage in sustainable practices and support recycling initiatives.